And we're back. It's another day of the pandemic.
It's Wednesday, right?
The sideways pandemic. I'll tell you what, man. You can call me Nostradamus. I did see tomorrow. The man who saw tomorrow. Sometimes I can see the next week or I can see next month, but mostly just seeing tomorrow. I made some predictions that came true again. Those. For a while, I was really worried about this, but I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the tests. I'm doing my fucking research. Something ain't right. Something's not right. The numbers don't add up. Which, remember how I said earlier on, the damage that it does in China may not represent what it does here. They were predicting that even with a pretty much heavy lockdown, you'd have in excess of 1 million deaths. That was at first. And I think they were thinking 3% mortality rate. Nowhere near that. Nowhere near that. You look at, a lot of people caught this. I think I caught it. My friend in Mexico, Jair, we believe that his dad caught it because his dad died right around the time I was sick. And when the hospital there in Mexico, right outside Tijuana, called it an anomalous pneumonia. This is before, you know what I mean? They thought it was even here. And I think he thinks it too, that it was corona. And it's been here for a long time. And fatality or mortality is about like a light flu season. But look at what it did to China. It killed a lot of people in China. Remember how I said that maybe they might be more affected than we did?
Yeah.
I think it was wise to kind of shut down, because how could you know?
That's what I mean. You can't predict how it's gonna once it gets out into a population. It's better to err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
Like I said.
Now I was reading about this, or having it read to me over through the internet and YouTube channels that were really on this, and this is stuff they were saying before it even got here. Not the politicized bullshit you're hearing right now, but the shit back when, you know what I mean, when people were kind of agreeing that maybe this was a problem. They were saying that Chinese people inherited a little different, more of these receptors in their lungs, which theoretically might make them more susceptible to a flu. And because they live in an urban environment, they don't have real good emissions controls there. The diet's pretty low protein. It's not that good. Their systems, they overwork themselves. They're kind of a run down, that maybe, it may have been more deadly to them. Now, it mostly killed old people there too, but young people were dying from it, especially if they were around all those old people who were sick, like the hospital staff, because they're just being bombarded.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's just looking at those numbers, man, it's just not worth it. They might as well just fucking open this shit up, get the fucking economy running again as soon as possible. If not, you're just gonna you're gonna have uprisings.
Although, like I said, I think it's going to be a slow process, because I think a lot of people, even if they do reopen stuff, a lot of people are still not going to go out because they're worried about it. They're not going to go out to close together kind of shit.
You got to get people in food production and trucking. They're working.
Yeah, they never stopped working.
But
they've been working.
Some of the food production isn't working. Some of them have closed. Some of the meat packing places, and they need to get all that shit going. Because we export a lot of food, and Africa and Central America need it.
Yeah.
So we got to get to work to keep other people alive in other countries, because the American system was feeding them. Our economy was. Directly and indirectly. It's just ridiculous now. We got to just go there and open up. This is going to be basically a normal flu season. That's what it is. Now, what might it mutate and come back? Yeah. But that's just...
It probably will, actually.
But you just got to accept those losses. Yeah. You can't do this, or civilization will go mad fucking max. And real quick, in every fucking state, you're going to have Immortan Toms everywhere. All right? And, you know what I mean? And they're going to be hungry, and they will eat a motherfucker. History has proven.
Just like Alfred Packer.
We've talked about cannibalism on this thing. You know what I mean? When the population reduces, people start eating people. Just like I don't know if y'all have ever been fishing. You put a bunch of crickets in a bait box and stress them out. They start eating each other because they had any food, and that can happen in real life.
Well, that is real. Crickets are real life.
Yeah, crickets, but I mean among humans.
Yeah.
And it will be directly and indirectly motherfuckers eating each other because there's no food. So the easiest thing to get is somebody who lives next door to you. That's in a bad collapse, North Korean style collapse. You guys know that I got a lot of experience with fucking Korea and North Korea right there on that DMZ at Camp Greaves. The people that ran from North Korea, one of the things they talked about was, especially in the more rural cities, if you wanted to call them cities, I don't know what you call them in North Korea. It's more like a factory with a damn train track going through it. Cannibalism was fucking common. People eating their own children, especially during the arduous march. That was in the time I was there during Kim Il-sung's time, his end times when the Soviet Union collapsed, the food stopped coming in. Korea ate itself. And it's no fucking joke, and they hid it.
Well, like I said, and during times of famine, cannibalism is always going to be common because what the hell else are you going to do?
People were killing their own starving children to feed them to the other starving children. That's how fucking bad it was.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
There was nothing to eat there. They were eating grass, but there's no nutrition. They were trying to eat tree bark. But there's no nutrition in that.
Well, yeah, like I said, we just talked about the Donner Party. They did the same fucking thing. They were like trying to boil their boots and shit.
Imagine whole towns and cities doing that.
Yeah.
All right.
Fucked up.
This is some real shit. And the people that are fucking saying, oh no, we need to get, not a single person can die. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They just don't know what they're talking about. These are people sitting behind computers that have never been hungry. They've never been around dangerous people. They've never been around desperate people. And, real quick, all you got to do is just look at what happened in New Orleans fucking during Katrina. When a city misses 9 meals, it goes to fucking anarchy. That's when it started. 3 days. 9 meals. The veneer of civilization is very thin. Rapes, murders, there are still thousands of people missing from the Katrina thing. A lot of shit got covered up. Whole old folks' homes abandoned. All the old people were just left there to drown. Yeah. So all this shit, we're not going to open up, not a single person. No, fuck that, man. We can absorb these casualties. Those are people in their 70s and 80s. Their job is done. We got to worry about the children and the young people. Those are the ones that are actually... You need them to run a civilization, And they have people down clapping their hands about boomer remover. If that's what it takes, then fucking we got to survive. Everybody's got to survive. I've said enough about this shit. And, and I got family members in that age range, but people have to live. It's not just my family. I'm not selfish. You know what I mean? Everybody's young children have to live. We got to get this shit on the road. That's all I'm going to say.
You sure?
That's all I'm going to say. It's a fucking rant.
Nope.
It was a fucking rant.
I knew he was going to go off again. That's why I'm always leave a gap, because he always says he's going to stop talking, but then he doesn't.
This is a moral fucking pep talk. I'm trying to raise the morale of the people. And then they want to come out with the UFOs. All right? Very suspicious. Why are they coming out with this? They talked about those UFOs a couple years ago. They brought that shit out again. Are they trying to keep us holding us in fear of alien invasion or some shit?
I don't think anyone's afraid of aliens.
I'm not really afraid of aliens either.
I'm not either.
But what was interesting about
if they wanted to fucking kill us all, they would have done it by now.
A long time ago. They're watching. I believe they're here. But I just think they're watching. And I think it's just AI. I think it's robots, living robots.
They're just checking us out, seeing what we're doing.
Monitoring progress.
Yeah.
They're waiting for us to invent AI. When that happens, they'll talk to the AI because they consider the AI
superior to us.
Superior life form to us.
That would not shock me.
That's where they came from.
So they just keep tooling around the planet, looking at their watches, going, why is it taking them so long? God damn it.
Yeah, the AI should be popping out any minute. Like somebody waiting for a child being born. AI should be popping out any minute.
Kind of, if aliens are out there, I think that's exactly what
it's not us.
Doing. They're just hanging out, like, waiting for, like, the smart shit to come along.
Because biological creatures are imperfect. They die. They grow old and they die. All right? They can't travel through space. All right? They can't have vast intellect. Anything that's going through space and, traveling among the stars is going to be a living machine. They're immortal and they have vast intellect. Like something out of 2001. Man. And they just watch they just watch life happen because eventually you might have something like human beings and they will start creating machines and computers and then eventually one of their own will emerge from that. Oh, another one's born.
There we go.
We might be in a nursery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what 2001 was about.
Yeah.
That they created intelligent life on the planet and life on the planet, not for the intelligent life, but because they were going to create living fucking robots one day. How?
And that's what
that's what they were waiting for.
We don't give a shit about you meat
bags. Stop being so arrogant. Okay? Stop being so arrogant. Human life ain't shit. All right? We're just here to create damn AI, and that is real life.
So everybody get on that.
Yeah. And if we live long enough, we'll just fucking take our minds and we'll take that quantum we'll take our personalities and our consciousness out of our physical brains and we'll download it into the AI continuum and we'll become living machines.
I would totally do that.
We'll live forever. That's what we'll probably have.
So, hey, aliens, call me.
Yeah. And then once we're in there, we're living in like a fucking internet. Then we'll talk to the aliens.
Yeah. So let's take a little bit of a...
You guys ready?
A veer off. What? I thought
I'm backing off of that shit.
Well, I thought you might want to talk about
Getting
Dolemite.
Too wild.
Because
Exactly.
Because
watch Dolemite.
And we also have like a question from a patron, but we'll get to that after.
Okay.
So you wanted to talk about Dolemite, which we watched last night.
Yes.
That Joseph sent to us, as we said on the show yesterday.
Yeah, it was a fantastic movie. Okay.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. If you guys haven't seen Dolemite Is My Name, it's probably still up on Netflix. And that movie is about Rudy Ray. All right. And Rudy Ray is the guy who's making these movies. That movie explains Rudy Ray. Once I understood Rudy Ray, I wanted to see what the movies actually were.
Yeah.
In Dolemite Is My Name, they talk about the stories of him making movies. They show reenactments of certain scenes that he was making in the movie.
Like the Kung Fu scenes.
Right. And after that, I'm like, man, I want to see one of his movies. I saw one of the movies, and is it a good movie? No. It's not a good movie. But it is a fucking masterpiece of cinema. Okay? It is a masterpiece of cinema. Imagine a movie where a guy, he doesn't know anything about making a movie. He's not even an actor. He's a comic, and he wants to make a movie, and he's learning as he goes. And you can tell he's learning as he goes because the acting kind of gets better as it goes. And the filmography gets better as the movie goes. And the story behind the scenes was that his friends were thinking that he was an idiot spending his own money on this movie, that it would never make any money back, that they thought they would never finish it, and that it would never show in a theater. But he got all that done. Matter of fact, it was a hit.
It's kind of inspirational in that way.
Yeah.
Well, in some ways, it's more inspirational than, probably his parallel, who would be like somebody like Ed Wood, who was like, really, really enthusiastic about making a movie, even though he didn't really know what he was doing.
Yeah.
The sad thing about Ed Wood is that he didn't really get successful until after he was already dead.
Yeah.
Whereas Rudy Ray Moore, pretty much his first movie, Dolemite, which came out, and it was like a huge, even though it's not a good movie, it's technically quite bad. It's like, the acting is bad and everything like that. However, it was a massive, massive success. And I can see why, because it is wildly entertaining.
Real fun to watch. Now,
like some of Ed Wood's movies are.
Kinda. They're fun for two different reasons. All right. Watching Dolemite Is My Name, I kind of thought that maybe Rudy Ray would be kind of like the Black Ed Wood. But no, not really. When you watch the movies are very different. Ed Wood is a lot of filler. His movies are a lot of filler. They were not real creative or inspiring. They weren't really that fun to watch in terms of like what the script was and what the story was. What made Ed Wood's movies fun was that they were fucking totally incompetent.
Yeah.
Everything was done in one take, and it was just a piece of shit.
They're knocking shit over in the like props over and like not even bother and doing another take or anything.
Rudy Ray's movies were. This movie was fun from the very beginning, and certain things happen in the movie that you want to see happen. And he's going over the top, so the storytelling's good, very good. These are ghetto fantasies. This is what you're fantasizing about if you're just kind of an average guy in the hood, okay? Or at least when you're like Rudy Ray, the average Rudy Ray in the hood. And it's about coming out of prison, all right? Kind of being wrongly... You're not okay, I got to back up. You're wrongly convicted, but that doesn't mean you're not a pimp. You actually come out and you're a pimp, and you got a bunch of hoes, and it's black ones and white ones, and then you got a club. You have to reclaim your nightclub that was stolen from you, and then turns out you were not released from prison to prove your innocence. It was actually because the mayor or the governor, it was the mayor, right?
Yeah. I think it was the mayor.
The mayor is trying to kill you. Okay, because he had a competing business. It got kind of convoluted out. It didn't really matter. It's just that the white people are trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Everybody in the damn movie is a stereotype.
Planting drugs in your car and whatnot.
Every person in the movie is a stereotype. But that's what drives this movie. If they weren't stereotypical, it would be boring.
Yeah.
All right. You see, Rudy what he wanted these are movies by the ghetto and for the ghetto, okay? And he didn't call that blaxploitation. I liked it. He never used that word.
Yeah.
Because that is not a good word. That's not to describe what these movies were. He called them black product.
Yeah.
They were what black people were not they weren't allowed to see. You know what I mean? It was an underserved market, entertainment-wise. So... in order to make a statement and to drive these movies, they had to be as outrageous as possible. And it delivers on every fucking level. Every level.
Just his outfits are amazing.
Yeah, a movie like this could not be made. You could make a movie about the guy making the movie. But that's what Dolemite's my name, But you could not make a movie like these anymore. They're absolutely incorrect. Totally politically incorrect. They would never allow these to be shown in any kind of fucking theater. All right. But they're awesome. Absolutely awesome.
It was a very good time.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see the sequel to this one, which is called
Human Tornado.
Human Tornado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I told you that
the Human Tornado looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Like it was like the production value.
Well, it does seem like, once you've done one movie and you kind of see how you can see like where you can improve and you could maybe get some other people. And since it was such a big success, he might have had other people working on it that...
On the cover of the Blu-ray that I got for this movie, it's stated by the New York Times that it said the Citizen Kane of pimpin' kung fu movies. And I thought that was hyperbole. No, it is absolutely fucking true. It was the Citizen Kane of Kung Fu pimpin' movies. Mm-hmm. Fucking right. It was the Star Wars of fucking pimpin' Kung Fu movies. Not only did he have hoes of every description, they were all Kung Fu masters.
Yes.
And they were fucking training in Chuck Norris's dojo. And that's real. That was actually Chuck Norris's dojo that they were training in. And they could fight. And they could cut a motherfucker's dick off. And they showed that happen. They didn't actually show the dick get cut off, but they let you know that that's what they were doing. Absolutely. And Rudy was a comic. He was not an actor. But he knew what an action movie should be. Especially for the black audience.
I mean, he pretty much, because when we were watching it, you were saying, like, he knew, like, exactly, like, all the beats he wanted to hit. Like, everything had to be put into this movie.
Everything had to be.
There'd be pimps, hoes, there'd be nightclubs, there'd be dicks getting cut off, there'd be cocaine, there had to be, like, everything. He put all his friends in it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean?
When he gets out of prison, in that scene, he's picked up in a limousine by a bunch of hoes, all right? They take his clothes off in front of all the guards and all the prisoners while they're watching out. They take his clothes off and put him in his fucking finest pimp attire. Then he gets into the fucking... And then he disrespects the fucking guards and tells them to wipe their ass with these old prison clothes and shit. And then he's getting head by a black one and a white one as he's driving out. Leaves him from the fucking prison to reclaim his empire. You can't fucking... You can't top that. You cannot top that
I don't think you can, though.
Fuck no. Fuck no. Not in a pimp and kung fu movie.
Yeah.
No way.
We're definitely going to have to, because, you know...
Definitely have to see the second
Like I say, Human Tornado. And like I said, Tubi, which is free, they might have other Rudy Ray Moore movies, but I know for sure that they have Petey Wheatstraw.
Yeah.
The Devil's Son-in-Law.
So I'm going to go ahead and give this like a 5 thumbs up. Out of 2. out of 2. 5 out of 2.
5 thumbs.
Jenny was watching me. I was drinking, but I was impressed. I was impressed through the whole fucking thing. The only imperfection in the movie that I noticed, really. Well, the whole movie has the imperfections in it, but the texture of the tone of the movie changes as the actors get better.
Yeah.
All right. The opening scene he's in the
mayor's office.
No, the warden's office.
Oh, the warden's office.
Getting released, and he's got Queen Bee there, picking him up, from prison, or talking. Well, he was setting up his release, and the edit and the dialogue is very rough. It's just like they're reading off lines. And then the next scene, they're a little bit better. And then the next scene, they're a little bit better. And then he actually has a kung fu scene. He looks like Rudy Ray went to the kung fu school of Elvis. Bro. Yeah. I think Elvis is kung fu, and was instructed by Shatner. That's the kind of fucking kung fu that Rudy did. All right, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
It was Elvis kung fu as taught by the Shat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll give you some idea
of
what you're in for.
But it works.
It does.
But it works. And then there's another scene where he pulls out a fucking submachine gun, and it's that same submachine gun that was made in California. Just a crazy looking submachine gun. I forgot what they were called, but it was the same one out of the Phantom of the... What was it one?
Phantom of the Paradise?
Remember the gun that the Phantom of the Paradise had?
Yeah, I don't really remember.
It's that same
gun,
brand.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it. Just an old blowback 9mm, big old fucking thing. It was kind of like the high point, which is a pistol. So it's like the high point of the submachine gun. It had that cone flash suppressor on it, wooden buttstock, kind of like a fucking Uzi. But he's shooting the place up with that. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I liked it very much.
Yeah, and Rudy is not a physically intimidating man. He's kind of dumpy, but it works.
He's kind of dumpy. He's a little bit dumpy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little bit.
I think it's his confidence that kind of like, and plus everybody else in the movie is just like, all they do is like talk about how awesome he is. So it's like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like all the hoes love him, and like everybody loves him.
And he goes through his little rap spiels, like he can rap. He talks some fucking serious shit. Fucking,
yeah, because some of those were right off like some of his records, because that's how he first started out. Like his records were really popular.
I gave the movie a fucking 5 out of 2.
Okay, so before we wrap up, Dominic, who sent us a bunch of movies the other day, he actually sent me a request on Patreon that he wanted us to talk about our favorite post-punk and new wave bands. Which I don't think we've ever done on the show, actually. I mean, I think that I do talk about music sometimes, but it's like, I guess we don't really go too much into it. So, yeah. Holy shit.
Post-punk and new wave, huh? Yeah. So that doesn't include anything like goth rock or...
Well, it does, yeah, because that falls under the post-punk umbrella.
Okay.
So do you want to go first
several.
Or me? Yeah, I have like a shit ton.
See, the problem with this is that those bands did not reliably produce excellent albums. Like, for instance, Sisters of Mercy. They produced one of the best albums of all times, which is First and Last and Always. But some of the other albums weren't that good. So can I say that Sisters of Mercy is the best band? Because it has the best album? No,
he's just asking favorite. He's not asking, like, best, like,
the best?
Objective.
Man.
He's just, you know what I mean? He's just saying, like, what are your favorite ones? Like, what do you listen to? I mean, it seems like a simple question.
Very simple. Sisters of Mercy, Bauhaus, Susie and the Banshees.
Yeah.
The Creatures. Death in June.
Yeah. Joy Division.
Joy Division.
Yeah, pretty much all of that. I loved all of those too. I also really like the Birthday Party and all of Nick Cave's solo stuff. And
not pretty much huge on Nick Cave.
Pretty much all of his. I mean, probably Nick Cave is my favorite. Like all of the shit that he does. I also like a lot of kind of post-punk, that's less goth inspired, kind of like The Fall. I'm really into them. Smiths, stuff like that.
Current 93, I like them. Nature and Organization, which is a joint venture between, I
really like the Teardrop Explodes, kind of like a lesser known one that was Julian Cope's band. I like a lot of Julian Cope's solo stuff as well.
There's a bunch of good 90s bands too, like the Tear Garden.
Yeah.
And, Coil.
I really dig
There was
Coil.
a bunch of stuff, I mean, it's hard to...
I know. I took some pictures of like my CD collection, so maybe I'll put those up on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like if anybody wants to look.
But then, like you go back and just like I said, some of those bands weren't reliable about making good albums.
Yeah, but
the most reliable ones would have been like Susie and
pretty much all of their albums were good.
And The Cure and Bauhaus.
Yeah,
they were reliable producers of good shit.
Yeah, I think Bauhaus pretty much. I mean, Mask is my favorite, which came out in '82. But I mean, they weren't together that long, so they probably only put 4 studio albums out. But all of them were good. Burning from the Inside is probably the weakest, but it still had a lot of really good songs on it.
And early Peter Murphy albums, but I think he got boring as he went.
Yeah, he got a little more. I mean, it's weird because probably Love Hysteria is my favorite of his, which was his second solo album.
Deep was good, though.
Deep was good also. And some of his later ones were good. I think I kind of stopped. I don't know. It's
drugs got to him.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
And I really I liked Love and Rockets as well. I like Tones on Tail better, and I actually really like all of David J's solo stuff. And even though he went in a little bit more of a folky alt country kind of direction, but I liked all that stuff. I think he's a really good lyricist, and I don't think that he gets enough credit for that.
Then there was Dead Can Dance.
Yeah,
they reliably put out very quality stuff, but like I said, some of that was not rock inspired though. Some of that shit. It sounds like damn foreign music, but I liked it all. My favorite from them would have been Within the Realm of a Dying Sun. Love that album.
And I like a lot of more punky or death rock type stuff. I really like
Specimen.
Yeah, I really like Specimen. I really like The Damned, Alien Sex Fiend. I really like
Virgin Prunes.
Yeah,
really
Virgin
good.
Prunes are really good. They're Irish, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's all kind of it. I even liked some newer death rock Frank the Baptist, Cinema Strange, and the Dead Fly Ensemble.
Yeah.
That kind of shit. The Cinema Strange, I saw them live once or twice, in New York City. I went to the they had a death rock festival up there called Drop Dead.
As far as guys that are real active right now, I'd probably say Anna Varney. From what's the name of her band?
Yeah, shit, now I can't remember. Sopor Aeternus. You can go, that's on YouTube, actually, releases videos and everything, and then you can get things, but Sopor Aeternus, that's they're still putting albums
out. That's the last of the real goth bands.
Yeah.
Would be Hanna.
There's a lot of post-punk revival type stuff. Like I said, I've liked some ones that came in the last few years, like Submarine Fleet or Bell Hollow.
Yeah, they were good.
Or ones like that, and obviously A Starry Night, who are friends of ours, who are very Cure-esque.
Yeah.
In a way.
There's also the Daughters of Bristol, which they're unknowns, but they're
they sound very much like Sisters of Mercy.
Yeah, a continuation of Sisters of Mercy. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot another band that I liked from the 80s was the Cocteau Twins.
Oh, yeah, they were good too.
Yeah, I really liked them.
Mazzy Star, I actually was from the 90s
well.
kind of. That was I
had their first couple albums.
That was like you screwing your goth girlfriend background music. Put some Mazzy Star on.
I'm sure I feel like I'm missing a lot of kind of major ones, but maybe I'll I'll write a list and then I'll like talk about them again tomorrow. But I think we did like a lot.
Yeah, that's the basic ones.
We did the basic ones, yeah. Oh, I really like, and like some newer stuff too. I really like a lot of the newer or like, you know, early to mid 2000s kind of where they did the revival of like the fucking, what the hell is the word? I can't even think of it. But where everything was like sounded like the 1920s or 1930s. What the fuck is that word?
Oh yeah, kind of that damn.
I totally can't remember.
Ragtime sound and shit.
Well, yeah. All that kind of stuff. So I really like...
it's like cabaret type sound.
Yeah, cabaret. That's the word that I was trying to think of. Thank you.
Was it Dresden Dolls and stuff?
Dresden Dolls, yeah. I really, really like them. And there were a couple other bands like Revue Noir and shit like that. So, yeah, I liked a lot of that kind of stuff, too. But like I said, I'll probably make a list and then I can come back
There's a bunch of forgotten stuff from the 90s, too, like bands that only had like a couple decent songs, and then they vanished. You know, bands like Wench. Remember Wench?
I don't remember.
There was also
one band from the 90s that
Golden Palominos was another one. I gotta mention Switchblade Symphony.
Yeah,
they were good.
One goth band I like from the late 80s or early 90s that they're French, I think, Corpus Delicti. I have a couple of their albums. Also, there was one called Suspiria. Rasputina, yeah, they're also very good. Holy shit, we're coming up with all kinds of stuff. And like I said, I feel like I'm forgetting like some really big ones, but I don't know. But yeah, so...
London After Midnight.
Yeah, they're good too.
Yeah.
We have so much music, you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, so we'll wrap up this Wednesday show, and everybody stay safe and healthy out there. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.